Boyue didn't release anything in 2020. They just snuck their device in at the end of December with the P6. Pretty nice overall design, simplistic approach, easy to use. They then followed it up immediately in the first week of 2021 with this, the Likebook P10. This thing has it all. It's a 10-inch, not a 10.3, built from the ground up, 1600 by 1200, 200 ppi. It doesn't have a Wacom digitizer, but it does have a digitizer. We'll touch on that in a second. It has a front light with color temperature, quad-core 1.5 gigs, 4 gigs of RAM, no microSD, but it does have speakers, microphone, and a USB-C. It's also Google Play enabled, comes with a free case and a free stylus for $320 USD. It looks good on paper, but let's dive a little bit deeper than that. Much like on the P6, you are dealing with a grid system, and that's a good thing. It's showing a more simplistic side of Boyue's delivery with their Likebooks. On the bottom left corner, you can change the grid size, 4x5, 3x4, and the more you press it, the more options show up. You also have an applications management in which you can show what you want to show up from boot, background activity, or just hide altogether. Triggering A2 mode is easy as pie. You just click on the A2 button at the top. You can enable or disable it. There are only 2 modes, so there's nothing like the 4 modes Onyx has or even Hisense, but it does speed up the device pretty drastically to the point where page turn animations and waiting is a thing of the past. There's a little bit more staining, but you can correct that by pressing the refresh button up top. Clicking on the file manager, everything organizes itself into categories automatically. Whether you put it into the internal or in a respective folder, it will automatically sort and tell you how many of each files are in what folder. Because it's not a 6-inch, it's a 10-inch, that means more text displays on the screen, and you have to turn pages less. It looks fantastic, and because of its quad-core processor, there's no problem even when you're dealing with animations. Its big vibrant screen means manga looks amazing. It's bigger than traditional manga, so it might look a little bit blurry because you are looking at it on a bigger than traditional size, but it looks fantastic and usability and functionality has no compromise. Because the device is Google Play certified, you literally have millions of applications at your fingertips. All you have to do is choose one and it installs. Because this is running Android 8.1, most things outside of maybe the latest Asphalt game will work on this device. This is one of the most interesting things about this device, the note-taking layer. If we grab a Wacom pen like the Remarkable pen, it does work on everything, but it doesn't work on the P10. If we grab an active digitizer pen, which is capacitive, you will see that if I tap the center with my finger, I can actually turn pages, etc., going back to testing pages and whatnot. Using the active digitizer, it will simulate your fingertips, so this doesn't interact with the note-taking layer either. Only by using the stock pen are you actually able to take notes. The latency is incredibly low. It's a very fast experience, and it works rather well. Because the fact that no other stylus works on this device, this makes the P10 one of the only other devices outside the Sony that is using its own proprietary EMR, which is basically like Wacom, to communicate with the device itself without any charging or batteries. It doesn't end there, you actually get pressure sensitivity as well, depending on what you choose on the bottom left corner. You do get the pen, the ink pen, and you get a bunch of colors as well, as you can see right here. You can also change the line width. Because this isn't running Wacom, no other eraser will work on this except its own pen. So you can't use the back of the pen because there's no eraser, so you'll have to use the pen nib. And no replacements are currently available at the time of filming this video. You will be able to check our store periodically where we hope to have some more at that point. Clicking the top right corner brings a drop down. If you click AI converted to text, it will actually convert anything it finds on the screen to text and justify it into the corner exactly the way you wrote it, just like this. You can disable the touchscreen, enable, or you can refresh the page to get rid of that staining. You can also add a bunch of things here, insert new page, shape, text, and images to do clip art. Of course, they do have their own app store, but there's only 9 reading apps, 4 tools apps, for a total of 13 total, so it's a far stone's throw away from the millions you get on Google Play. Navigating around web pages, it's almost a sure thing you're going to want to have A2 mode on. If you do happen to turn A2 mode off, you will get much better picture resolution, better contrast, but you have a lot more staining and a lot more refreshing going on. So the experience could be a little bit hindered by the fact that it's just taking longer to develop a 10-inch image every time it needs to trigger a refresh. The Likebook P10 is an absolute home run. It's hundreds of dollars less than the competition and does basically 80% if not more than everyone else. It's not billed as a premium device, it's not billed as a luxury spec powerhouse, but it certainly holds its own. It has a microphone, speaker, USB-C, and even some Torx screws down below if you're so keen on opening up your device to service it. This thing is absolutely amazing, and more importantly, it's available now. It's not in any sort of concept stage. It was built from the ground up. It doesn't share with any other shell. And it's by a company that has a long track record in making products like this. This is a great direction for Boyue, and so far, it's a winner. For GoodieReader.com and a full review of the Likebook P10, this is Peter.